Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Those of you that are eagle-eyed will notice that I'm in exactly the same position and outfit and have the same ridiculous fringe as I did at the end of my November wrap-up. So this is my December wrap-up, and yes, it's literally about 10 seconds since I ended my November wrap-up. And I obviously haven't finished a book yet because it's only the 1st of December, and I do apologise for this situation. I'm going to get this sorted out this week. But I've had a delivery. I obviously don't want to show you my address. So yeah, some kind, lovely person has sent me a gift, and I just thought I would open it on camera. I have, hang on, let's cover that up. I have opened this bit because nobody needs to watch me struggle with that on camera. But let's just have a little look and see. Okay, I'm intrigued because there is an awful lot of bubble wrap. Is it something I've ordered? It might be something I've ordered. Oh no, it is presents. Oh, something smells. Oh, I know what this is. So, my lovely friend Charlotte, she's not a booktuber. I will have a chat with her. She used to sell candles via Instagram, but I think she closed her shop during lockdown. But if she's still active, I will leave her link in the description so you can check her out. She's super lovely, and she said that she would send me a couple of candles. Oh man, I can smell these already. Let's see what she sent me. She just said that she had, I think, some excess stock or something. So she said she'd send me some, which was really, really kind of her, obviously. Okay. Oh, so she's done a label with my channel on. What Victoria Red Spicy Apple. Oh, that smells absolutely glorious. I'm going to burn that immediately. Oh, Charlotte, thank you. And I love that you put my name on the label. I'm such a sucker for anything that's like personalised. And then let's see what this one is. Oh, I can smell this already. I think it smells like sweets. Oh yeah. And again, more Victoria Red with my glasses. And it's pumpkin spice. And that smells absolutely glorious. So wow, thank you so much, Charlotte. That's really made my day. And it's got my name on it. It's the 7th of December, and yesterday I finished reading the Penelopiad, there we go, by Margaret Atwood, which is this month's pick for what the book club read. This is the shortest Atwood. It's just under 700 pages, so only just counts, I guess. I guess it's really a novella rather than a novel, but still, I have included it. And yeah, I finished reading this last night. This is one of only 3 Atwoods that I haven't previously read. The other 2 are Hagseed and The Heart Goes Last, which I'm really excited to get to. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to expect from this because I've not read it before. You can also see Christmas presents. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and it's a retelling of the Odyssey from the perspective of Penelope, who is Odysseus' wife. But I really enjoyed this. This was really readable. It's also interspersed with the 12 maids, who also have little bits coming in and out like a Greek chorus. I'm going to put this down. And yeah, I just thought it was really playful. Penelope's voice is quite sarcastic, which I always enjoy, and it was just a really straightforward read, and it was just interesting to get a different perspective on that story. So yeah, I've given it 5 out of 5 stars because I couldn't find anything to fault with it, and I'm intrigued to see what the rest of the book club make of it. It is the 8th of December, and what a day. This is not at all book related, so if you're just here for the book reviews, then that's fine, just skip on to the next clip. But I do this vlog style so that there's like little bits of my life in it as well, and today has been one of those like big life days. So basically, as you guys know, I'm doing a PTE because I cannot shut up talking about it. I started my first placement at a school in mid-October, and I have absolutely loved it there. I really love the way the school is run. I love the ethos. I love it's a fairly small secondary, and I love that. They've been amazingly supportive of me and like for me taking my first like teaching steps, and they've let me try things out and do things differently, but like fully supported me the whole way, and it's just been an amazing experience. So when a job came up, I obviously applied in the English department. I'm going to be an English teacher. Oh, I am an English teacher, but soon I will be a qualified English teacher. So yeah, a job came up, I applied, I got an interview, found out on Friday that I had an interview, and today I interviewed and they've offered me the job, which I have very happily accepted. And it's just completely nuts. Like, I haven't even passed my teaching degree yet. It's not even Christmas. Like, most of the jobs get advertised in sort of January, February time, and that's when PGC students tend to get the jobs lined up. But yeah, I have managed to get my job lined up, hopefully to start next summer. And I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. It's not just a job, it's a job at a school that I really believe in, and yeah, I'm so happy. It's the 9th of December and wow, this week has been a ride. So on Monday, one of my colleagues at work tested positive for COVID, which then triggered about 10 other colleagues being told to isolate by track and trace, which somehow I've avoided. I'm not quite sure how that's happened, but it has. Then years 7 and 9 had to get sent home because of positive COVID tests in those year groups. And then yesterday, year 8 were also sent home. So at the moment, the only people in school are years 10 and 11 and a skeleton staff. So for me, what that means, because at this point in my training, I'm not allowed to teach Key Stage 4, which is years 10 and 11. I haven't got any classes to teach, everybody's online. So I'm going in today. I've just stopped to get a hot chocolate because as you can probably hear, my throat's really scratchy. I'm going in today, which will probably be my last time on campus until next summer, sad times, to do some marking that I can only do on site. So I'm going to get that done today, and then I will be at home, and I've got to try and figure out how to teach online. My mentor has sorted out the lessons for yesterday, today and tomorrow, and then from Friday I'll be taking over for the next week. So yeah, that's what I'm up to professionally. So it's just been a lot the last 24 hours, or the last 48 hours really. People being sent home, positive COVID tests, thankfully so far everybody's just got mild cases and seems to be okay. And then getting my job yesterday. It's been a week and it's only Wednesday. Anyway, I came on because I finished an audiobook on my drive this morning, which is Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Doughty. I listened to this on Scribed and would highly recommend it because Caitlin narrates it herself, and I love when the author narrates books because you can definitely get like the intonation that they meant when they were writing the book. So it's all about Caitlin's work in the death industry. She's American and has worked in a crematorium and as an embalmer, and it's just about the death industry in America. She also looks at death rituals in other countries. I'm getting some weird looks because people can see I'm talking to myself. It also looks at death rituals in other cultures and countries. I just thought the whole thing was absolutely fascinating. Do not pick this book up if you are in any way in a wobbly mental health place. It is incredibly detailed about the process that bodies go through when they are picked up by the crematorium, and yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. There were a few times where I was driving, because I tend to kind of eat my breakfast in the car in the morning. I eat cereal bars when driving, and there were a few times I had to put my cereal bar down because I was like, okay, that was detailed. So yeah, it's very, very detailed. Also, content warning for suicidal thoughts. There are also discussions of infant deaths and stillborns and what happens to those bodies. So just be aware before you go in. This is not for the faint-hearted. However, if you can handle it, it's an excellent look at the mechanics of dying, why we react the way we do to death in our societies, and she also looks at a different way of doing it that I found really interesting. So yeah, definite 5 stars, thoroughly enjoyed it. If you can handle the topic, highly recommend. New glasses? Who this? Yeah, I realised that you guys probably wouldn't even notice, but I have got new glasses, picked them up yesterday. I was supposed to have new glasses in March, and then obviously because of COVID I didn't want to go, or I couldn't go for an eye test, and then eventually managed it last month, and now I have new glasses and I can actually, like, the world is in HD again. It's unreal. So yeah, that's nice. Just came on quickly because the lovely Connor from Connor's Library Corner sent me a parcel last night. He sent me Hamlet by William Shakespeare in this gorgeous edition that you guys know I'm collecting, and he sent me one of my favourite Christmas foods, which is after eights. So I'm very excited. And yes, I know you can eat after eights all year round, but for me, they are a Christmas food. So I've just dropped them. They're fine. I'm going to very much enjoy curling up with some of those and some and a book and stuff over Christmas. So thank you very much, Connor. He sent this with a really lovely note just saying basically congratulations for my new job and Merry Christmas. So thanks, Connor. That really made my evening last night. It's still the 10th and I've had a Moonpig delivery. Somebody has sent me something. I've opened the flappy bits because you don't need to see me struggle with that. But I thought I would open it on camera. So let's see what this is. Okay. Oh! So, someone has sent me a congratulations balloon. Who is this from? It doesn't say who it's from. But whoever it is, thank you very much. I will have a go at blowing this up later and I'll show you guys. Or I will make my husband do it, more realistically. Is there any kind of... No, there's no note. Okay, don't know who that's from, but I will give it a go later and I will show you. It's still the 10th of December, you guys are getting lots of clips today, and it turns out that the balloon, which I haven't inflated yet, but I will later on, was from the lovely Leanne from Literary Diversions and her lovely wife Helen. So thank you so much, ladies, that was so sweet of you. And yeah, I'm excited to get it inflated. But also I've had another Moonpig delivery, so I thought we'd open it together. Where is my... Okay, my address is on the bottom, so that's fine. Yeah, so I don't know, let's see what this is. Oh, it's a mug! So it's a mug with Jack's face on, and then it says, Mrs. Smith is bossing it, new career, new job, new dreams, now get back on the couch with the blanket for cuddles, mummy. Oh, that is so cute. Oh, and it's got a tea bag in it as well, which the husband will enjoy. There's no gift note, but Leanne was asking me on WhatsApp last night for a photograph of Jack's face, so I'm assuming this is from her. That's hilarious and I freaking love it. If that was you, Leanne, thank you very, very much. If it wasn't Leanne, whoever it was, thank you very much. I absolutely love it. Okay, it's a couple of days later because I'm a terrible vlogger, but look at how great this balloon looks when it's blown up. I absolutely love it, as does Charlie. Also, you can see we're getting our Christmas tree today, which is where my lounge has been moved around. Not at all stressful. And if you saw my IGTV, this is the rainbow jumper that I got from Stitch Fix that I'm obsessed with. So, good morning. And here's the balloons from the lovely ladies. It's the 13th of December. It's quite early in the morning, and we are finally going to decorate our Christmas tree. And yes, I am wearing a reindeer onesie, because I am super cool.
So do you see this at the top or the bottom when we're done? But what do you want these weeds at the bottom?
It's the 14th of December, and over the weekend I finished 3 books. So today is Monday morning, and we had a message yesterday to say that we can go back to school tomorrow, so I'm really, really excited. Turns out the kids that they thought were going to test positive didn't, and because the staff quarantine is up tomorrow, which is Tuesday, we can go back to school. So the teachers can come back to school, which means the kids can come back because we've got enough people to teach, and I'm really, really happy because it means that I can say goodbye to my classes properly and like finish off the end of term in the way I had planned. So it was a good weekend overall, and as you saw, we got our Christmas tree. But yeah, I also finished 3 books, so I thought I'd talk to you about them. Before I do that, I did also have a final delivery from Leanne and Helen, so they'd already sent me that amazing balloon and the mug, and then this turned up as well, Queen of Effing Everything, and inside it just says, to our lovely Victoria, we knew you'd smash it, we're so proud of you. All our love, Leanne, Helen and the Fluff Balls, XOXO. And yeah, that absolutely made my day. I did have to hide it from Charlie, so thanks for that, Leanne. But yeah, I'm going to put this up in my office because I actually feel like the Queen of Effing Everything at the moment. So yeah, I've had that. Then I finished, like I said, 3 books. So the first book that I finished was my buddy read with Charlotte for the month, which is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This was gifted to me, I think, by Connor? Connor's... Yes. He sent it to me for my birthday, Connor from Connor's Library Corner, who I will link in the description. This is the story of Liz, who is black and queer, and she wants to go to the same college that her mum went to, but she doesn't get the scholarship that she wanted, and then she finds out or realises that if she wins prom queen, she will get a scholarship that will enable her to get into the college of her choice, and so she decides to run for prom queen. And it's very much this kind of like coming of age outsider kind of thing. I thought it was really sweet. I gave it 4 stars, very much enjoyed it. It was definitely the kind of book I needed to read last week. It was just kind of that, like, I would say light, but there is definitely some darker topics in here, but just this kind of fairly easy read. Charlotte and I really enjoyed reading it together. I think my only issue is it's a debut novel, which is worth remembering, and I will definitely read anything else that Leah Johnson comes out with because I thought it was really well done, and there were quite a few moments in it where I was like, oh, that caught me in the feels. I loved, there is a female-female relationship at the centre of it I really loved. There's also a male-female friendship. It's like a crush, that they weren't together, so it's like a crush to friendship kind of thing, and I just really love the way that was dealt with. There were a few times I thought we were going to veer into a love triangle, but it just, yeah, there was just this really, I love a really good friendship in a book, and this has got a really lovely one at the centre of it. It's also about family and looking after each other and being yourself and standing up for what you think is right, and I thought it was done really well. I think the only issue for me, because it's a debut, there were a few times where we were in a present day scene, and then we would jump back in time, like Liz would be remembering something, and then we would come back into the present, but there was no scene break, so it was a little bit, it felt a little bit disjointed. It wasn't quite, so sometimes I wasn't quite sure where I was in time, so a few bits like that. Also there were a little bit of like telling not showing, and it does use the line, she let out a breath she didn't know she was holding, and yeah, I'm so bored of that line by this point, but I did very much enjoy it overall. Gave it 4 stars. It's a really solid debut. I will definitely read more from her. I'm also obsessed with this cover. I just think it's really effective. So yeah, loved that one. Then I finished or read The Martian by Andy Weir. This was also gifted to me, I think, from one of the ladies on Instagram. Yes, Lucy from Books Lucy Reads on Bookstagram, so thank you for this, Lucy. I have seen so many people rave about this book. I'm pretty sure Leanne gave it 5 stars. Also Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe loved it. Jade from Jaded Reader. Gloria from, she used to be the Neverending TBR, but she keeps changing her channel name. I can't remember what she is now, but I will link her in the description. They all raved about this. I've already seen the film, so I say that straight up, and this is the film cover, the tie-in cover, which actually I quite like. This is about a man, what is his name? Oh my gosh, I can't remember what his name is. Why am I so bad at character names? No, Andy is the author. I can't remember. Anyway, it's about a man who accidentally gets left behind on Mars during a Mars mission, and he has to basically survive. And I don't usually love survival stories, like stuff like Robinson Crusoe. I just find it a bit stressful. But this I really enjoyed up to a point, because there's a really good thread of humour through it. So I'll just read you a bit of the back. It says, I'm stranded on Mars. I have no way to communicate with Earth. If the oxygenator breaks, I'll suffocate. If the water reclaimer breaks down, I'll die of thirst. If the habitat breaches, I'll just kind of explode. If none of those things happen, I'll eventually run out of food and starve to death. I'm screwed. So there's this really good thread of humour. What is the character called now? It's going to bug me. Yes, so, oh my gosh, what's his name? Yeah, there's this really good thread of humour through it, which definitely pulls you through. And what is his name? I've literally spent like 400 pages with this character. Why I can't remember what his name is. That's great. Oh, nobody cares. You guys don't care. Yeah, so the thread of humour definitely pulled me through. However, this is really heavy on the science. Like, I almost feel like I could fly a mission to Mars now, because there is so much science in this. The text is also tiny in this book, and I feel like it would have worked better as a novella. Oh, it is Mark Watney. I was right. Mark Watney is the guy trapped on Mars. Yeah, I feel like I could take part in a Mars mission. Not that I would, because I get scared on roller coasters, let alone going into space. But yeah, it was really heavy on the science, and I actually skim read quite a bit of it, because it was like, I don't care. Like, I just want to find out. Well, I knew what was going to happen because I've seen the film, but like, I just want to find out what's going to happen in this book. Also, I had the same experience when I read the book version of Shutter Island earlier in the year. Like, if you've seen the film, you don't need to read the book, because there's nothing extra in the book. The film adaptation is really faithful, and to be honest, I preferred the film, which hardly ever happens to me. I did give it 4 stars because it's very clever and I love the tone. I think maybe it's just too heavy on sci-fi for me, and yeah, it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. And then finally I read this gorgeous illustrated edition of Alice's Adventure in Wonderland, losing my voice today, and Through the Looking Glass. This has got both stories in it, which was very kindly gifted to me in the summer by Leanne and lovely wife Helen, so thank you again, ladies. I collect these editions. These are illustrated by Mina Lima, and I've got, I think, 5 of these now. I'm such a spoiled brat, but these are just such a beautiful reading experience. And so yeah, I spent a couple of hours over the weekend literally just curled up with this in front of the Christmas tree, which was magical. I think everybody knows what Alice Adventures in Wonderland is. I'm not going to show you any of the interactive elements because I feel like it's a really important part of the reading experience, but I will just show you one of the illustrations, like, so you get an idea of the style. Absolutely gorgeous. And obviously Alice in Wonderland is really whimsical, so it lends itself really well to this kind of style. So that's one from Through the Looking Glass. So yeah, I had a really lovely reading experience. I actually don't love the story of Alice in Wonderland. It's just too weird for me. And I find Alice quite annoying, but I have given this 4 stars because I usually give Alice in Wonderland about 3 stars because it's okay. But then with the interactive elements of this as well, it's just adds to it. So yeah, I had a thoroughly lovely time curled up with this, so thank you very much, ladies. And yeah, that is my kind of reading recap from the weekend. It's still the 14th of December and I've just finished The Murder at the Vicarage by Agatha Christie. This is the first of the Miss Marple books. I've previously read one Agatha Christie, which is Murder on the Orient Express, which is a Poirot book, but my lovely friend Leanne from Literature Versions is a huge fan of Agatha Christie and of Miss Marple in particular, and so back in the summer I bought myself this copy of the first book, and for some reason I was saving it for winter. I think maybe the cover here makes it look snowy, so I thought it was going to be wintry. It's not. It can be read at any time of year, and it's basically what it says on the tin. There's been a murder at the Vicarage. This is the only book, Leanne tells me, this is the only book in the Miss Marple series that doesn't have Miss Marple's point of view. We've got the vicar telling us the story, but obviously Miss Marple is very present, and yeah, it's just trying to solve the mystery. I thought this was cosy. It was lovely. It kind of reads like Cluedo in a book. I did guess where it was going, which is fine. I think for me the only problem with it was that the pacing is a little bit slow, but again, it is a cosy mystery, so it's probably just because I'm used to reading fast-paced thrillers. But I did enjoy this. It was lovely. It was a nice kind of gentle read, an introduction to the character, and I will definitely be reading more. I gave it 4 stars. It's the 19th of December and I'm just having the nicest day ever. I do have some book updates, but just a quick life update first. So yesterday I completed the first placement of my PGCE, which has been amazing. As you guys know, they have offered me a job and I have accepted, so I get to go back in September. And we had been in quarantine, or in isolation, whatever they call it, but thankfully we were able to come back for the last 3 or 4 days of the last week before Christmas, so I got to say goodbye properly to the kids and just kind of finish off, because online teaching is fine and it's obviously better than nothing, but it's not the same, and I was just so happy to be back in a classroom with the kids. So yeah, I've had a lovely week. All of my classes made me cards, which they all signed to say thank you and goodbye and good luck, which I can't show you because I've got my surname all over them, but it's just been a really lovely week. So yeah, and then today Gary surprised me with lunch at the Pig near Bath, which is my absolute favourite place in the whole wide world. So we've had a really lovely lunch. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen pictures and stuff, which is always linked in the description. Yeah, I've just had a really, really lovely day, and I'm now just sat in my office. My mum, brother and I go and watch ballet together in London every Christmas, and obviously we can't do that this year, so we are watching a recording instead via Skype. So we're going to have a catch up and a chat, which is great because I haven't talked to both of them together for ages. And then we're going to watch Leah, which is one of my favourite ballets. So yeah, it's just going to be a lovely, cosy, festive day. I do have some books to talk about, which is why I've come on. So first of all is a gift that I was given by the English department as a kind of good luck, goodbye and good luck, or goodbye for now and good luck and well done stuff type present, and that is the Etymologicon, I think, by Mark Forsyth. So the module that I was teaching year 7 was all about etymology, which is the history of word. So it says a circular stroll through the hidden connections of the English language. So I know this is really niche, but I'm really excited for this. So it says it's an occasionally ribald, frequently witty and unerringly erudite guided tour of the secret labyrinth that lurks beneath the English language. And for me, I am such an English language nerd, so yeah, I'm really excited to read this. It might be my non-fiction pick for January, but we'll see. I'm going to be reading it shortly. I need to definitely read it before I go back in September. Then I finished a book, which was Days of That End by Sebastian Barry. This is one of the books that my brother gifted me for my birthday. If you aren't aware, my brother gifted me 5 literary fiction novels for my birthday in August, and I've been reading one a month. And on each one he also put a post-it note to explain why he'd gifted it to me. So in this one he said, "This is a bit of a change for me because I hate westerns and books about war. This is obviously more than that. There is a sequel which I read and think you'll love, but you sort of need to read this first. It's also beautifully written." So this is set in the 1850s in America, and we're following a pair of soldiers through what they called the Indian Wars and then the Civil Wars and what happened. And it is brutal. Content warning for very detailed descriptions of war, very detailed descriptions of murder, and also abuse of dead bodies, and also rape and sexual assault, also for incredibly racist language in places, and also homophobic language. But it's also beautifully written. It is beautifully written. My brother's right, it's beautifully written. However, I did have a bit of an issue with it because, like, let me just show you here, like, the paragraphs are just so long, and for me, I really struggle with that. It's almost stream of consciousness, and that isn't a style that I love. And some of it I did skim read because it was just like it is, and because it's also quite repetitive, because, you know, they're in a fight and loads of people die, and then they're in another fight, and yeah, they just get a little bit repetitive. However, I did love the relationship between the 2 central characters. It's queer, which I found really interesting, and it was done in this really beautiful, very kind of straightforward, matter-of-fact kind of way that I really liked. My brother said that the sequel is from the perspective of their daughter, so I'm definitely interested to read that at some point. But yeah, this was quite hard going. This was a slog because of the subject matter, and also because of the writing style, but I did give it 4 stars. And yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, I'm glad I read it. I don't think I will ever reread it though. So yeah, that was that. And then today I've had some book mail that's not a birthday present, so I opened it because I knew that it was from Book Break. And that is Rum'ayasa, a fairy tale by Ridia Havisa. I've done really badly with pronouncing words in this section. Sorry about that. I'll find out the correct pronunciation for those. This comes out on the 1st of April 2021. How gorgeous is this for a proof copy as well? And this is a fairy tale retelling. So it says, it's a modern spin on a classic fairy tale, weaving together 3 fairy tales, Rum'ayasa, Cinderella and Sleeping Sarah. This humorous debut will enchant and inspire the Rebel Girls generation. Our ambitious campaign to reach young rebels will include influencer recommendations at your UK tour and multi-channel digital advertising. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really excited for this. I requested it. I didn't realise it was an ARC, and I'm assuming it's going to be middle grade or YA. It's not very long at all. It's less than 200 pages. So yeah, I'm really excited to pick this up. If it's coming out in April, it'll be on my March TBR. So yeah, I'm excited for this. And it's just a really beautiful, beautiful copy. It's the 22nd of December and I have some bookish updates for you. I finished 2 books since I last spoke to you, and I've had some book mail. So the first book that I finished was The Ice Maid's Tale by Mandy Morton. This was gifted to me by Charlotte at Books and Bargains over the summer. I was getting a bit stressed with some stuff that was going on, and she saw this book and sent it to me as kind of a joke present. And I absolutely loved it. I had 0 expectations going into this book, and it's the only thing I don't like about it, it's got one of those matte covers and you can see all my like grubby fingerprints from where I was holding it. But yeah, I absolutely just had the best time reading this book. So it's from the, as you can see from the top, the number 2 feline detective agency. And this is book number 8, but you can definitely read it without reading the others, although I now want to go back and start at the beginning of the series. And basically, it's about a pair of cats who have a detective agency, and it's just really cosy and lovely. And in this one, kittens are going missing and they need to try and figure out what's going on. There are some darker bits to it as well. There were some like quite graphic, like gory scenes, which I wasn't really expecting. But the whole like combination of it just came together really well. There's also some really cosy descriptions of food, which I love. You guys know I love descriptions of food in my books. This has got some really nice ones. Just the whole thing was just really like cosy and interesting and funny and witty. And yeah, it's not set in the human world. Everyone is a cat in this world, and there's just references to things that are like feline feline versions of human things, and I just had the best time. And yeah, now I want to go back to the beginning of the series and start again and like start from there. I gave it 4 stars because just the pace felt tiny bit slow in the middle, but I just had a thoroughly lovely, cozy, fun time reading this. It's totally different from what I would normally read, but I really enjoyed it. I was then sent very kindly by Book Break, sent me a copy of Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. This is the paperback version, obviously, and look at that cover. I just, yeah. I know literally nothing about this except it's by Rory Power, and I read Wilder Things, is that what it's called? Wilder Girls, which is her debut earlier this year, and loved it. And she's just now become an auto-read author. So when Book Break offered me a copy of the paperback, I said, yes, please, thank you very much. I don't want to know anything about it, really. I just know that it's more of her kind of feminist, slightly dystopian, slightly weird stuff, and I'm excited to get to it. I've heard a few mixed reviews, but I'm trying to stay away from reviews, but this you will see in probably my January TBR, but very early, definitely in the new year. So yeah, thank you very much to Book Break for that. I'm really excited for this one, and I'm obsessed with that cover and the spine. I'm excited. And then the next book that I finished, or the final book for this clip, is Blue Ticket by Sophie Mackintosh. I'm not going to talk about this for long because I did a whole reading vlog, which I will link in the description. I basically took, on the day I'm filming this, I took all of yesterday off and I read this book. And you can go and watch that vlog to see what I got up to. It was a really nice, like, cozy, relaxed, Christmassy day. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It's set in a dystopian world where on the day of your first period you are given either a blue ticket or a white ticket, and then depending on which ticket you get as a woman, it dictates your whole life. And this follows a girl called Calla who is given what she thinks is the wrong ticket, and it basically goes from there. So yeah, if you like feminist dystopian fiction, I would really recommend this. It's very character driven. It really did remind me of The Handmaid's Tale, which I don't say very often. Not specifically of The Handmaid's Tale like storyline, but just of Atwood's writing style. So if you get on with that, I would recommend this. It's definitely literary fiction. There are also some quite graphic scenes of childbirth, and I also need to give a content warning for a stillbirth, so just be aware of that. But if you're able to handle that kind of thing, I would really recommend this one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the 23rd of December, so Merry Christmas Eve and 100 cool points if you know what I'm referencing there. Last night I finished Dead Girls by Abigail Tarttelin, and if I look a bit frazzled, it's because I am. I was in the supermarket at 5:30 this morning to get our Christmas shopping done. I then had to go to 2 other shops to get it finished, so I am a little bit frazzled, but I finished this book last night. So this was gifted to me and recommended by Leanne from Literary Diversions, and I can barely tell you anything about it because of spoilers, but I guess it would be counted as a thriller, more of a mystery, but we're following a girl called Thera, who is 11, and her best friend, who is also 11, is found dead in the woods one day, and Thera decides that she is going to find out what happened to Billy, her best friend, and she kind of sets off to find the murderer, and it goes from there. This is very much in Thera's point of view, so if you're not a fan of child narrators, this probably isn't for you. But I really enjoyed this. It starts in 1999 and it is so 90s, and as a 90s kid, I was born at the end of the 80s, but I remember the 90s. This was just so firmly in that place and time, which was so impressive. This is super dark in places. I would say, I said to Leanne, it's like a mix of Jacqueline Wilson and Karen Slaughter. It's not for the faint-hearted. It really goes to some dark places. I need to give content warnings for paedophilia, rape, sexual assault and murder. There's also quite a bit of gore in this, and yeah, it's slightly confusing mix because you're in Thera's perspective, and she's 11 and she's into nanopets and the Spice Girls and and then these horrific things happen, and it's just, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 is I thought the pace was a little bit off in places, and also I spotted what was going on quite quickly. But I do read a lot of thrillers, so that is an occupational hazard. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I literally left Leanne a voice note this morning going, oh my gosh, that ending, because yeah, if you've read this, please message me because I need to talk about the ending. It's the 30th of December, I think. So we are deep into Christmas mode now, and I haven't filmed in over a week. I just took a little break, aside from filming my Boxing Day opening of gifts from you guys, which I will link in the description, which was really fun. Yeah, I just haven't filmed anything else since then. Just took a few days. I've taken like basically a week totally off everything. We had a really nice Christmas. It was very small, it's just the three of us, which was kind of weird, but it was also nice, and it was still exhausting. We were up very early, and it was just go all day, and it was the three of us. I cooked lunch, and yeah, we had a good time. If you want to see a few, I think I put a few pictures up on my Bookstagram account, which is always linked in the description. You can go and have a look there. But yeah, we've had a very nice Christmas. We've been without Charlie the last 4 days, so it's just been the two of us just chilling out, relaxing, which we've very sorely needed. Although today we are going out for a walk. The weather's been horrible. It's been raining pretty much non-stop. But that's kind of been okay with me because it's a good excuse to just stay in. And yeah, we're going to go out for a walk today. We are in tier 3, which means we can't like go out of our locality, which is fine. We are very lucky to live in the countryside, so there's a few walks we can do pretty much from our house, so we're going to do that today, which is why I'm actually dressed and not wearing pyjamas, and I've even put mascara on, not that you can tell. So yeah, our Christmas break is going very nicely, but I just haven't felt like filming, so I haven't. But I do have 3 books to talk to you about because I had some book mail and then I finished 2 books. At the time of filming this, I'm on 189 books finished for the year, so I'm hoping to finish 1 more before tomorrow, because tomorrow is I'm just looking at my calendar on my desk, tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so I'm hoping to finish 1 more before tomorrow, but we will see if I manage that or not. My reading has slowed right down, which it does every year at this time, but that's usually because we're like running around visiting family, but this year we haven't obviously been doing that, but I've just felt very tired. So there's been a lot of film watching, and also playing on the Switch, which we got Charlie for his birthday at the end of November, and then for Christmas he got Mario Kart and Mario Olympics. So Boxing Day was just spent with him like just playing video games, which I haven't done for years, and it was really fun. And we've got him back for New Year's Eve tomorrow and then for a few days after, so I'm sure there'll be lots of that as well. So yeah, I haven't done that much reading, but that's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. I've just had a very nice chilled time. Anyway, books, that's what you want to know about. So I was sent very kindly by Book Break, I was sent Dear Reader by Kathy Renson Brink, hopefully I've said that right, which is one of the most beautiful books I've ever seen. I mean, can we just enjoy this cover? And then on the inside it's this I love this colour, this is probably my favourite colour. It's just stunning. So this is non-fiction, and I think it's just it's a series of, it says a love letter to stories and reading from one of our very best memoirists, and it's called, and then the subtitle's The Comfort and Joy of Books. So Emma was talking about this on either Book Break or her own channel, I can't remember, and she was saying that it's a book for readers, which obviously I am. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze this into my December TBR, but it's very short, so I think I might use it as my first read of 2021, because yeah, it's 230 pages, because I find for my brain it's quite helpful to have a short book or 2 at the start of the year, so I feel like, because my Goodreads goal will obviously reset to 0, so if I can get a couple of books under my belt fairly quickly, that seems to help me not get in a slump. So yes, thank you very much Book Break, this is gorgeous and I'm really excited to dive into this. And then 2 books that I finished, the first also came from Book Break. This is an ARC coming out on the 21st of January, and it's People Like Her by Ellery Lloyd. This is a thriller slash family mystery drama type thing. Ellery Lloyd is actually a married couple, husband and wife team, who wrote this book together. I've read a few books written by a duo and enjoyed them, and this one I've got some mixed feelings on. I've given it 4 stars because it's really well written and I really liked the subject matter. Oh, I should probably explain what this book is about before I get into a review. So we are following 2 people, I can't even remember what their names are because I read this a couple of, well, like a few days ago. What are they called? Oh, Emmy and, what's her husband called? Emmy and Dan, that's it. So Emmy is an Insta mum. So she's an online influencer and she posts their life online. However, the life that she posts online isn't really the life that they are living, and she is actually in real life very together, very stylish and deliberate on what she's posting, and online she does the kind of like, this is the reality of mum life, and posts like messy pictures of their lounge and all that kind of thing. But what her followers don't know is that she spent the 10 minutes before that picture was taken messing everything up. And we also get Dan's perspective, which I really liked, and it definitely needed his perspective to kind of balance things out. I liked the way that this was written. I would definitely read more from these writers. It was very cleverly done, and as someone who also puts parts of their life online, very small parts of my life online, it was definitely a reminder about internet safety, because somebody starts to stalk this family. So we have three perspectives. We have Emmy, we have Dan, and we have their stalker. And there is someone who is basically out for revenge on Emmy for reasons that become apparent throughout the book. And I thought it was a really interesting commentary on social media, the way we use it, the way we post, the reality versus Instagram type thing. I think my main problem was I just absolutely hated Emmy. She's awful. She's an awful, awful human. And she does things and you just think, wow, like how removed from reality are you? And that is explored, and the reasons for that are explored. And I did feel a little bit of sympathy for her towards the end, but she's just terrible. I really quite liked Dan's character. He also does hideous things, but it was good to have his perspective, because you'd have the chapter from Emmy, and they're very short chapters, so it was a very quick read. You'd have a chapter from Emmy talking about this thing that happened, and then you'd get a chapter from Dan talking about the same thing, and it was like his was the reality versus her Instagram version, and I really liked that. So I liked what it had to say about the being online and being an influencer and all that kind of stuff. It was really well done. I think the only issue for me is that there's a lot of tension built, and then it all happens really quickly and nothing is really explained properly, and I really didn't like the very end. And that's quite a specific thing that I personally don't like with endings, which I don't want to say because it will be a spoiler. But yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 in the end. I almost gave it a 3, so it would probably be more like a 3.5, but I don't do half stars. So I've gone with a 4-star. Thank you very much to Book Break for sending this to me. I think there will be some people who will really enjoy this. I've seen mixed reviews online, and I can understand why. But it was definitely interesting, and yeah, I did have fun reading it. So there was that one. And then there's a book that my husband bought this year and then gave to me, and I was looking at my shelves thinking, what should I read towards the end of the year? And this feels like a very 2020 book, and I felt like I should get it read before the end of the year. And that is Tomorrow Will Be a Good Day by Captain Tom. Now, for those of you who are outside of the UK, although this did go internationally viral, Captain Tom is this amazing 100-year-old man who raised millions of pounds for the NHS by walking up and down with his walker in his garden. It inspired loads of other people to do the same thing. It was just this wonderful thing that happened. Like, watching it was wonderful during the first lockdown here in the UK, and this is his autobiography. And however you feel about the Captain Tom thing, because I agree that we shouldn't have needed a 100-year-old man, or 99 as he was when he started. We should not have needed a 100-year-old man to raise that much money for the NHS, because it's a government funded thing. That's a whole different video. However you feel about it, what he did was amazing, and this book just made me really emotional. It's his autobiography. He was born in 1920. Obviously because he's 100 years old, in Yorkshire, and it talks all about his life all the way through, from his childhood through his years serving in World War II, and basically what he did after that, his whole family life. He's been through some really hard things, and then it talks about what sparked his decision to go, as he says, for a little walk, and what happened when he did. And I just thought this was wonderful. I will say I've given it 5 stars because I can't see how you could give a book like this anything less, really. But I would say that I definitely connected a lot more with the second half after the war than I did with the first half, because he talks, and I don't know if this is ghostwritten or not, but he talks about the war in quite general terms. He does talk about where he was and things that he did, but it doesn't really connect emotionally, and I felt like I could have been reading any old history book. But once I got past that and into his life post-war, I felt a lot more connected. So I would just say that. But he's an amazing man, however you feel about the reasons behind the money that he raised. He's an amazing man, and this was a joy to read. And the end, I cried several times throughout this, and I just want to show you a couple of the end pages, because that's him there as a little lad, and then this was a picture taken in the local school in the village where he lives now, and those are all of the cards that he was sent for his 100th birthday. And that picture, for some reason, every time makes me feel really emotional, because there's been so many awful things that have happened this year, but watching this unfold just kind of reinstated some of my faith in humanity, which probably sounds like a bit of an overstatement, but it really isn't. I thoroughly enjoyed this. If you are interested at all in Captain Tom, I would recommend this. All of the proceeds from this are going to his foundation they've set up to continue the work that they started during the initial fundraising. This is a book that I will be passing on to several family members who I think will find it interesting, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It's the 31st of December, and yesterday I finished my last 2 books for the month and for the year, and I had a thoroughly good time. So the first book that I finished was Hungry Hearts, which is edited by Elsie Chapman and Caroline Tung Richmond. This was gifted to me for Christmas by my lovely friend Charlotte from Books and Bargains, and it was a perfect pick. This is 13 short stories. They're interconnected, all written by different authors, and they're all set on Hungry Hearts Row, which is this street in a little town in America, and they're just stories about grief, love, family. They're all connected by food, and I just had a thoroughly lovely time reading this. There is one story in here that took a really dark turn, which I was not expecting and really enjoyed, and there are some really heavy themes in this. So like I said, grief is a really prominent theme, but also the descriptions of food in this are glorious. If you like books about food, you really need to pick this up. This is a YA, which I didn't realise going in. I thought it was an adult collection, but it is YA, although the upper end of YA, and they're just so beautifully written. And I also really liked kind of seeing how they were all connected, and it's very like subtly done. You know, this character pops up in this story from this story in a different one, and someone's in the background, and they all rotate around these different places that serve food, restaurants and food trucks and stuff. I just thought it was wonderful, and there's a real mix of representation in here. We've got lots of different religions and people from different countries and all kinds of things. I just thought it was lovely. I've given it 4 stars only because I did an average. I averaged out my score for each story, and it came out at 4.2 something. So yeah, it's a 4-star. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Would highly recommend it. Also, if you are looking to get into short story collections, I think this would be a really good one to start with. I've read 3 this year now. I read The Cat in the City, and I've read 4 collections: You Will Never Be Forgotten, and A Wayland, and this one, and this is definitely my favourite, and this is what I would recommend if you're a beginner in the genre. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Charlotte. I had such a lovely time. It also made me really hungry. I had to be careful about what time of day I was reading this, because the description of food is just so vivid. But yeah, loved that one. And then my last read for the year was a gift from Holly at Reading for My Mind on Instagram, and that was How to Disappear by Gillian McAllister. This is marketed as a thriller, but it's more of a family drama, and it was one of those books that, like, I wasn't expecting to be emotionally skewered by this book, but I really was. It's basically about a family where a teenage girl she's witnessed a crime happening, and as a result of certain things that happen at the start of the book, her and her mother have to go into witness protection, and they are told that it will be for the rest of their lives. They won't be able to see the stepfather or the stepsister anymore, friends and family, nothing. They're just going to be completely pulled out of their life and put into a new one. And it's about that. We get perspective from the mum, the daughter and the stepdad, and the parts where they were trying to make the decision of whether or not to go into witness protection and then doing it, which is not spoilers on the back, was genuinely heartbreaking, and it made me choke up, which I wasn't expecting from a book like this. And then you've got the kind of the tense kind of thriller aspect is whether or not they're going to the people who've committed this crime are going to find the girl, what are they called? I literally finished it yesterday. Zara is the teenage girl and Lauren is her mum. I think it's because they changed their names like a couple of times in this book, so I'm terrible at remembering character names anyway. Yeah, so you don't know if they're going to catch up with them. We're also getting Aidan, who's the stepfather, who is trying to live his life without his wife and his stepdaughter, and we also get the perspective of the stepsister as well. So I just really liked all the multiple perspectives. It was really tense, and yeah, it was almost a 5-star. I've given it 4. The 2 reasons it wasn't: there was a bit of a pacing issue about 3/4 of the way through, and also something happens at the end, I won't say where, that I just like almost made me want to throw the book across the room. And it is a writing choice that quite a few thriller authors make, and I just don't, it's just a personal preference, I just don't enjoy it. And I've said before, endings for me are really important, so it got to the end and it was just like, oh, okay. But because the rest of the book was so well written and tense and I was just really hooked in, I had to give it 4 stars. So yes, I did enjoy it, I just didn't quite love the ending. So yeah, those are the 2 books that I finished yesterday. And those were all the books that I read in December. So it's now the 2nd of January, I think. I've totally lost track of the days. I've got 2 more days of holiday left before I have to go back to uni. And normally I would wrap up in front of my bookshelves, but it's the Christmas holidays and trying to fit in any kind of filming is a bit of a challenge. So we're just going with what we've got this morning. So before I wrap up, I did get one more piece of book mail for the year, and that was The Betrayals by Bridget Collins. Look how gorgeous this is. This was sent to me by my lovely friend Hannah from Instagram, and it's, oh gosh, it's so pretty. I don't even really know that much about it. I know that I read and enjoyed The Binding by Bridget Collins this year. But I mean, like, look at the naked hardback, guys. We know how I feel about a naked hardback. Hang on, just trying to get the dust jacket off. I mean, it's just glorious. And I saw it on somebody's best books of the year. I mean, look at that spider web. I saw it on somebody's books of the year list, and oh gosh, look at the end pages. Yeah, I saw it on somebody's books of the year list, and to be honest, somehow it passed me by that she had another one out. And I really enjoyed The Binding, which is downstairs on my bookshelf. So I put it on my wish list, and Hannah must have seen it that day because this appeared the following day. So thank you so very much, Hannah. I'm very excited to get into this. I'm assuming because it's Bridget Collins, it's going to be historical fiction with kind of a fabulous twist. So yes, I'm very excited to get into that at some point early this year. So thank you so much for that. And then yeah, this is the end of December's wrap up. So I finished on 15 books, which was 4,954 pages, or 160 pages a day. So that's pretty good. And my average star rating was 4.2. So that's the more important thing, because I really enjoyed my reading this month. I had a lot of 4 stars, as you've seen, and a few 5 stars. Obviously, because that's now the end of my 2020 reading, I finished the year 191 books, which is a lot. That's the most books I've ever read in a year, and I don't expect I will ever read that many again now that I'm going into teaching. But I had a thoroughly good time. Definitely reading is one of the things that saved me this year, and yeah, it's been a really good year. And also my average star rating for the year was 4.1 stars, which is really good. So I had the quantity and the quality as well. So it's been a really good reading year. And in terms of December reading, I guess you guys can probably guess by now, but my favourite read of the month was Blue Ticket by Sophie Mackintosh. I just had the most fabulous time reading this. I will link in the description the reading vlogs that I did for this, because I read it in a day. And yeah, it was just wonderful. And she's now become an author for me. So yeah, those were all the books I read in December. Drop me a comment below, let me know what your favourite read was, and subscribe if you want more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys, bye.